Commander HFY adjusted his ceremonial armor as the Galactic Unity dropped out of hyperspace. The massive dreadnought's bridge hummed with quiet efficiency, displays showing the successful arrival of the entire 7th Fleet at the Kepler 442 system. Behind them stretched a formation that had taken 3 standard cycles to assemble, 200 ships representing the combined might of 17 species. "Sir," Communications Officer Velna announced, her voice carrying the crisp tones of proper military protocol. "We're receiving the standard automated distress beacon from the research station on Kepler 442b. HFY nodded grimly. The reports had been clear. An experimental rift generator had malfunctioned, tearing open a hole in space-time itself. The preliminary data suggested creatures from another dimension, hostile ones, had begun pouring through. The research team's last transmission had been 3 days ago, a panicked message about things that shouldn't exist before all communication ceased. "Tactical assessment," he ordered. Lieutenant Crixmo manipulated his holographic display, highlighting the planet. Below, the rift appears stable at approximately 15 kilometers in diameter. Long-range sensors detect significant electromagnetic interference but no movement. The research facility shows no life signs. "And the Terrans?" A moment of hesitation. "No sign of them, sir. Their ships aren't in system." HFY's mandibles clicked in what might have been relief or disappointment. When the Emergency Council had convened, the human representative, Ambassador Chen, had insisted that Earth would handle the situation independently. The Galactic Council had overruled them, of course. This was too dangerous for one species to manage alone, even if that species had an unfortunate tendency toward recklessness. "Very well. Begin standard containment protocol. I want a perimeter established around the planet and prepare the dimensional stabilizers." The fleet moved with practiced precision. HFY had commanded similar operations before: the Vegan Nebula incident, the collapse at Rigel Station. The procedure was always the same: contain, analyze, neutralize. It was what the Galactic Navy did best. "Sir!" Sensor Technician Harv's voice cracked with urgency. Multiple contacts emerging from hyperspace, bearing everywhere. The main display shifted, showing space around them suddenly crowded with vessels, not the sleek uniform designs of Galactic Navy ships, but the angular asymmetrical craft that could only belong to one species. "Terrans," HFY breathed. But these weren't the handful of ships Earth typically fielded. Hundreds of vessels materialized around them, massive carriers, bristling destroyers, and stranger craft whose purposes HFY couldn't immediately identify. They moved in perfect formation, taking positions that seemed almost casual in their precision. "Incoming transmission," Velna announced, her voice slightly stunned. The face that appeared on screen was distinctly human, weathered, scarred, with eyes that had seen too much. "This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Terran Expeditionary Force. Commander HFY, I presume." "Admiral Chen." HFY struggled to maintain composure. "Ambassador Chen's relation?" "My grandmother." A slight smile. "She sends her regards. We appreciate the Galactic Navy's concern, but this situation is under Terran jurisdiction." "Under jurisdiction?" HFY's voice rose. "Admiral, with respect, this is a dimensional incursion of the highest threat level. The Galactic Council authorized a response to a crisis that no longer exists." Chen interrupted smoothly. "Check your sensors again, Commander." HFY gestured, and Crixmo frantically worked his displays. The readings were impossible. "The rift is sealed," Crixmo reported, his voice hollow with disbelief. "Completely sealed. Energy readings show it was closed approximately 6 hours ago." "How?" HFY demanded. Admiral Chen's expression grew serious. "We've been monitoring dimensional research for some time, Commander. When the Kepler station began their experiments, we positioned assets accordingly. When they sent their distress signal, we were already en route." "But the fleet size was, where did these ships come from?" "Various places. Chen's tone was conversational, as if discussing the weather. Some from Luna Command, others from the Martian shipyards, a few from our stations in the Centauri system, and several from locations that technically don't exist yet. The bridge fell silent. Zeftai felt his world shifting in ways he didn't understand. You see, Commander, Chen continued, when you've fought wars across multiple dimensions and timelines, you develop certain capabilities. The creatures that came through the rift, we've encountered their kind before. The dimensional closure technique, we perfected it after the Titan incident. The Titan incident? Classified, but let's just say Saturn used to have one more moon. Chen's smile was sharp. We've learned that sometimes the best way to prevent a crisis is to be there before it happens. Zeftai stared at the tactical display, watching as the Terran fleet maintained their positions with casual efficiency. Ships that shouldn't exist, using technology that violated half the known laws of physics, having somehow arrived before the very crisis they'd come to prevent. What do you want from us? He asked finally. Nothing, Commander, go home. File your report. Tell the Council that humanity handled the situation. Chen paused, her expression softening slightly. And tell them that we appreciate their concern. We really do. But some battles are best fought by those who've already learned how to win them. The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Sir? Velna asked quietly. Orders? Zeftai looked at the display one more time. At the sealed rift, the rescued research station, and the hundreds of human ships that had somehow been waiting for them to arrive. Set course for home, he said finally. And upgrade our classification of human capabilities. As the Galactic Navy departed, Admiral Chen watched from her command ship, already planning for the next crisis that would require them to arrive yesterday. After all, someone had to watch the Watchers.